Hello there! I have a special treat for you today. We are doing a hands-on workshop with a worksheet on how to create your current projects list. And if you're wondering what's a current projects list, why does this matter, I'm going to explain, and it's going to be so much fun. If we don't specifically identify a few projects that deserve our focus for the month, we'll probably work on 50 to 100 projects at the same time, and we just kind of bounce around, and typically we don't get any of them done. But if we have a very simple list, maybe between 1 and 8 projects for the month, then what happens is you break those down into little microbursts, you get those projects done, and you can bring in the next projects when you have bandwidth. By the end of today's workshop, you are going to have a solid, doable, exciting plan for the month, and you're going to feel like you just had this big lift. Now, the link to download this is in the description. We'll take you through each step so you don't have to have the worksheet, but if you want it and you think it's fun, we'll have that for you. When I create a current projects list, I like to have me, my family, and beyond. Beyond means paid or volunteer work because we want to have it really balanced. You don't want all your projects to be for work or all your projects to be for the family. We need to have everyone taken care of, right? So what we're going to do is on page 1 of the worksheet, we're going to brainstorm our me projects and our family projects. And then on page 2 of the worksheet, we're going to brainstorm the beyond projects, and we'll do a final project selection. But I've put together a lot of prompts and just questions for you so that you can consider exactly what you, your family, and other people need that month before you identify your projects. And this is just going to take a little bit of effort to just think through it and plan. But as you get in the habit of doing this every month, you're going to find that you're just knocking out projects, and they're not just any projects. They're projects that actually lead you toward that life that you just can't wait to wake up and live. And that's what I want for you. Okay, you ready to get started? So we're going to start with a brainstorm of the me projects. This is where you're going to ask, what do I personally need right now to feel healthier, happier, and closer to my overall goals? More rest, support with health challenges, better habits, time for reading, time in nature, more closeness with God or my higher power, activities with friends, emotional support. And you might be thinking, I need all of those, okay? But I'm just gonna look at this for myself and think I do need sustained habits. So I've already started working on, better nutrition, better exercise. I do want more reading, okay? So I'll put more reading. And the sustained habits were more like my health habits. I feel like I definitely do need more time outdoors because that's something that we have not been doing enough of lately. I've been inside holding down the fort. I feel like my closeness with God has been great. Maybe more two-way journaling though. That's been super helpful. Where I write a little journal to God and then God responds. Okay, and then time with friends. I actually have a ton of that scheduled. I have a lot of emotional support. Okay, we're doing pretty well. So those are a few things that I just think, yeah, this would be helpful for me. And I hope you can do the same thing. You could even just pause it right now and go make yours. All right, now we're going to go to the brainstorm of family projects. And if you don't live with other people, this could be extended family, or it could just be relationships, roommates, neighbors, people who are close to you socially in your community. But the question I like to ask is, how can I strengthen my family and relationships this month? Can I plan for an upcoming holiday, event, or trip? Support my family with specific health, social, spiritual, financial, educational needs, etc. Spend quality time together, create systems or improvements in our home to make things run more smoothly. Those are just some sample questions. So I am recording this in November. So as I'm thinking about December, I'm thinking, okay, there's definitely an upcoming holiday and I've got the details for that planned, but I really want to be present during the holiday and I want to give my family a chance to be able to serve. So I want to look for service because I think when we serve together, we draw closer together and we get to do good for other people as well, which is fun. Also, we were thinking of doing a little trip for a couple days. So maybe like a trip after Christmas. Health, social, spiritual, financial, educational needs. Okay, so our son is looking for a new job, and so maybe helping with the new job. Also, with some of the health needs, I do need to kind of do a follow-up doctor appointment. And then quality time together, we have a bunch of stuff already scheduled. And systems or improvements in our home, I feel like things are running pretty smoothly right now, so I don't think we need anything else there. But this is kind of what I'm looking at, okay? So for the family. Now we'll go on to the brainstorm of the beyond projects. So I'm asking, what can I do to grow and serve in my profession and in the broader world? Is it completing my highest priority professional projects, investing in education to support my financial and impact goals, pursue a volunteer project to lighten others' loads? So I kind of already have these organized for this month, or for next month, but as I'm thinking about my profession, there's a new video that I need to record, and I'm putting together a slide deck that goes with it. So that is like my highest priority. Okay, a little star there because I know that's super important. I'm also learning more about YouTube. So I'm taking a class and learning about that. Also, volunteer projects. We do a lot of volunteering in our neighborhood and community in our church. And so I'm looking to do something like host an event for some of our international students that we serve at our church, so that we can have them over around the holidays if anyone's lonely. Also, I've just been thinking about being more aware of just the everyday opportunities around me. So I might just say, like, be available and notice needs. This gives me an ability to just look and see what I'm going to actually focus on. Now, this, again, isn't everything I'm going to do volunteer-wise or professionally. There's a lot of like little things that are going on, routines, calendar items, tasks, things like that. But these are the main projects. Now, if I look at the 3 brainstorms that I just created, I have 13 projects that are here on the pages. But remember, I don't want to have more than 7 or 8 total. And sometimes it's even healthier for me to have like 5 if there's a lot of other stuff going on. So I'm going to look at each one of these brainstorms and identify any routines that can be pulled out or anything that maybe could wait till next month, and just really highlight what makes the most sense to be a project. Now, a project is something that can actually be completed. So I'm going to be rewriting these so that they come across as things that can be completed and not just like random ideas, okay? So first, as I'm looking at my me projects, I could have sustain my habits, like just really reinforce the routines I've already established. Spend time reading a couple nights a week, or 15 minutes a day, work on that. Time outdoors, I could say something like schedule a few outdoor events with the family, or more two-way journaling could just be establish my two-way journaling routine and try to do that at least 3 to 5 days a week, something like that. So as I'm looking at this though, I'm thinking, okay, my health habits, they really are locked in place for the most part. I don't think I need to have that as a project. But the reading and downtime and just giving myself a break, I really do need those because I have a tendency to work really hard and not take as many breaks. So I'm going to say I'm going to do probably more reading. I'll put that down. For time outdoors, I think I'm just going to maybe add a couple things to my calendar, but I don't need to make it a project. The reading is going to be establishing that reading habit. But the more two-way journaling, I think if I make that into a project, I think it's going to have the greatest impact on me. So I'm going to pick those 2. So in the family projects, I have present for the holiday, which you think, is that really a project? But sometimes I do like to make it a specific project because it makes me think about it. And then every day I'm making sure that I'm present. I probably don't need that to be a project though. I think I'll do that this month. Looking for service, I do already have some calendar reminders to look up some service opportunities, and I've been noticing because I got all my holiday prep done, I do actually have a lot of time for service, so I think I'm okay with that. The trip after the holiday, I am excited about that. I do want that to happen, so I am going to work with Eric on that one. And then support for the new job for my son, that is very important. And then the doctor appointment, I think I could just make that a reminder, so I'll just put that on the calendar. Let's finish up with the brainstorm of the Beyond projects. So I did already star the new video and slide deck because I know that's one of my highest priority projects. I still am going to make the YouTube class a higher priority because it's like 14 weeks, so I want to make sure I have time for that. And then the event for the international students, that also is probably a good project. This last one, be available and notice needs. That's more like a characteristic. It is a habit that I want to create, but I feel like I'm already basically creating that, so I'm not going to make it a formal project. I'm just going to have that something maybe I write on my daily reminders list that I'm already reading, kind of incorporate that into my routines. Okay, so now as I look at this little last section, and I want you to do this too, look at your final project selection for the month. So I'm going to pull over my me and family ones, and I'm just going to write down what the projects would be. So I'll say, okay, for me, I'm going to spend at least 2 evenings reading instead of watching TV. 2 evenings a week. Okay, so that's a project because this is a habit, kind of like a new routine I'm establishing. So, or I could say, oh, I want to read 2 books or 3 books, but I think for me, saying this is what I'm going to implement into my nights, that works well. All right, next is I'm going to do 2-way journaling. I'll say 3 times a week, and that's a routine that I am establishing. Okay, so both of these essentially are routines I'm establishing, but the nice thing is when you do it and you really make an effort, then it can go into routine mode. So I won't stop doing those things necessarily. I'm just going to not have to focus on it so much. Okay, next I have family, and I'm going to say we're going to do the trip, and I'm going to support Spencer with his job. I do the video slides and the YouTube class, and then I'll put host the event. Okay, so what's nice is now I've got 2, 4, 7 projects for the month. That's totally doable, and it's gonna be so fun. Now, hopefully you did this worksheet or you're planning to do it, but you may find that you have so many things in your brainstorms that you just feel totally overwhelmed and you feel like, I can't pick just one. This is where I recommend you have a next in line list and a someday list. So you're going to tier your projects so that you know which ones are your highest priority and which ones you can get to next. It doesn't mean the ones that are next are not important. It just means that you're not going to try to do everything at the same time, because then you don't get anything done, okay? So that ability to distinguish which ones really matter, that's what I want all of us to get really good at, because it gives us something very doable. Now, you know that your project is optimal if when you look at it, you get this little lift, okay? So I'm gonna look at mine, and I've got, these 7 projects. When I look at it, if I think, I don't want to even do this, then there's too much on it, okay? But if I look at it and I think, oh, this is gonna be so great, I can't wait, I can do this, then I know that it's optimal and it's going to work. And if I'm a weekend and I feel like, oh, I just am not feeling great, or this is just too much, then I can always edit, okay? You can always edit. But the other thing that I would recommend is that then you're gonna take what you have on your current projects list. You want this to be either posted, like I have a chalkboard and I put it right up in my office. I also put on a little bookmark in my planner. I love to have my current projects list like right in front of me. If you have a digital note or you want it as your wallpaper on your phone or something like that, you can do that too. But then you might be thinking, well, now I just got these projects, when am I going to do it? Okay. And so we have other videos on the channel to walk through how to actually create project time. But I just want to give you a couple ideas that can help you feel excited so that you can take what you've just brainstormed on this worksheet and move onward and feel great. So number 1 is you want to then look at your projects and say, okay, what is the very next action for each one? How am I going to make this happen? So I'll just give a couple examples. Let's take my 2-way journaling. I really like to 2-way journal, and I like to do it on a computer, but I want to be able to do it in the mornings typically. So I might say, okay, I have a little calendar where I, write out my plan for my study in the mornings. I'm going to add 2-way journaling for 3 days this week. So there's a little reminder for me. Then when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to check that, and I'm going to keep my computer right where I do my morning study so I can easily journal. Because sometimes if I leave my computer somewhere else, I'm like, oh, it's fine, I'll do it later, and then I don't, okay? So I'm already picturing where I'm going to be, how I'm going to set myself up for success with that. For this trip, really the next action is just to have a conversation with Eric, because he's actually excited about this. We were talking about what we wanted to do the other day. And so all I need to do is put this on my next actions list in the to discuss section and say, chat with Eric about the trip. Awesome, that's actually really easy. Or on Fridays, Eric and I do a couples planning. I can just add that to my agenda. So it's so awesome. I show up in my agenda to talk to my husband, but it actually works out really well. So I could put it on my Friday agenda or on my next actions list, but that way I know I'll have that discussion, and then we can decide who's doing what. And then finally, for the beyond, with the video and slides, I just need to spend some of my project time on that, which I've already got outlined, so I know that I'll work on that. If things are already part of your routine or in your schedule and you know you'll see it, awesome. Otherwise, you want to make sure you have those next actions boiled all the way down, so there's no question that you're going to be able to just jump right in and get it done. Many people in the world just spin in circles and never feel like they get really important things done, but you are going to be an example for your friends and your family and coworkers and loved ones, because as they see you waking up excited and going to bed content and moving forward on everything that really matters to you, and then being available to be able to be of service and of help to others, they're going to be inspired, and I just can only imagine the influence that you're going to have. So I'm so glad that you're here. Please get your worksheet, the link's in the description. You can print it out yourself or get out a notebook and go through the exercise that we just outlined today. But I think you're going to feel so good, and then report back in the comments. Let me know. Did you make your current projects list? Any questions? Any inner turmoil? Are you feeling good? I can't wait to hear about it. We'll see you soon at Learn, Do, Become. Bye-bye.